Hi girls, we're going to look at Fitt Formula today. Now you would have done this in year 8 or 9 HPE. Now they say that the Fitt formula can be applied to improve aerobic capacity. However, it can also be applied to improve other areas of your fitness. So Fitt stands for frequency, intensity, time and type, and you will need your training program for this lecture. First one, frequency is how often the sessions occur. The golden rule, there's a minimum of 4 to 5 sessions per week for aerobic capacity to increase, and to increase things like strength, power and speed, you need at least 3 to 5 sessions a week. That's really important to get down, girls. All fitness components should be targeted each week, with those most in need included more often. So think about the training principles, think about individuality, so catering for what you need. So if you didn't do very well in the big test, for example, it means that your aerobic capacity is quite weak and that needs improvement. Now, you should see that in a training program more so than other things. If you did well in speed, you should see that less. Okay, so I want you to have a look at your training program. Does it target the energy systems and fitness components that you need within the correct frequency? So 4 to 5 sessions for aerobic capacity, strength, power and speed, 3 to 5 sessions a week. And I've given you an example there of the intensity and the duration, etc., and distances you should be covering. Intensity, very important. It's the most important training variable, as I have written there. It's pretty much how hard you train. Okay, we know if we work harder, if our intensity is much higher, we're going to get better benefits out of it. Okay, either burning more calories or improving our fitness. The training load must be hard enough to bring about physiological adaptation. So you must be able to train hard enough that's going to see some sort of physical improvement. Intensity increases, obviously due to the progressive overload. So remember, that's a very important training principle. Remember, we can progressively overload through increasing intensity. It's measured by blood lactate levels and oxygen consumption, but generally it can be obviously indicated by our heart rates. Okay, so if we are working hard, if the intensity is quite high, it's around that 85 to 100% of our max heart rate. Remember, our max heart rate is 220 minus our age. Medium, you're kind of cruising 70 to 85%. You're working in that orange zone. Red is hard. And then you've got the light zone. That's kind of like a light walk and or jog, and you can still talk to the person next to you. Okay, so to see those physiological adaptations, we need to be working up near our max heart rate. And when the heart rate guy comes out, he's going to test how hard you're working. So remember last year when you saw all those red squiggly lines, it means you're working in that max intensity level. So to measure our heart rate, you need to take your pulse immediately after exercise. Minimum requirements for each component vary. Example, to improve aerobic fitness, the athlete needs to be working at around 70 to 85% of your max heart rate. And for anaerobic training, you need to be working a little bit harder, somewhere near max, so 85 to 100%, e.g. when you're doing sprint work. E.g. a speed pyramid where you might sprint 20 meters, walk back recovery, sprint 40, walk back recovery, sprint 60. You need to be working near your max heart rate, okay? And that walk back is your recovery to go again. So have a look at your training program. Is the intensity appropriate for both aerobic, so 70 to 85, and anaerobic, 85 to 100%? Next one, time, pretty straightforward. I'll let you read that. We're not going to focus too much on the time. Aerobic, you should be working for about 15 minutes and no rest. So you don't want to just be going for a 3-minute jog around the oval. That's not really good enough. And to work anaerobic, you want to be getting around that 2 to 6 minute work rate with some rest to obviously recover and replenish ATP. Okay, so have a look at your training program. Is your timing appropriate? I've given you some timing indications up here, so take a screenshot of that and look at your training program. Is your timing appropriate for both energy systems? And the type includes the correct training type for components chosen, includes the correct training. So you don't want to see on your training program components that are not relevant to your position or things you don't need to improve. Same again, if you're predominantly in the middle link position, you should see a lot of anaerobic training training sessions, etc., evident without your training program, not a lot of, jogging around the oval, okay, that aerobic capacity. So I'll give you an example here. To develop aerobic capacity, the only suitable activities are whole body activities that use large muscle groups, so running, cycling, and swimming.